people often use the word money and capital interchangeably, but they're not necessarily the same thing. Like capital are assets that produce value that grow on their own, and money is like an exchangeable mechanism that is indicative of a store of capital, right? If you create money without creating more capital or creating more value, then you're basically just taxing everyone. And that's exactly what central banks do. Like the amount of capital grows with roughly GDP, right? So let's say real GDP is 2.5%. Like the amount of capital in your economy grows by roughly 2.5% in the US every single year, okay? And so that is indicative of how much capital there is. And if you print money, if you increase your money supply by 10% per year, which is what the central bank has been doing for the past like 2 decades, then obviously it's going to cause a lot of inflation, because like if the real capital in your economy is only increasing by 2.5% and you're increasing your money supply like M2 by 10%, you're debasing your currency by basically 7.5% every single year. And if you ask yourself, like, okay, like when you buy something, right, like what does the money represent? It represents the value of the thing you're buying, right? And let's say it's real estate. The house, okay, like that's a bad example, but like let's say it's gold, right? Like the gold is the gold, the utility of gold and the supply of gold is like very straightforward. Like the supply of gold doesn't change, right? But the money supply in the economy does. So gold being more expensive is indicative of like the purchasing power of your money decreasing over time, because 1 ounce of gold is worth the same now than it was like 10 years ago and like 100 years ago and 1,000 years ago, right? But what changes is like the money supply. And I think like housing is like, there's some more nuances to it, but part of the reason housing is getting really expensive is also because like you're just debasing your currency, whereas like the plot of land, especially if it's like scarce, like, you know, like Ocean View properties, like that's worth the same, but the money is not worth the same. So as a result, everything gets more expensive, and then we just have worse lives because everything is more expensive.